Hello everyone, I'm Hazel and I am a mother of 3 children. Sa tatlo ko pong anak, isa po sa kanila, ang youngest ko po ay si Joseph. He is turning 4 this November 1. And with his birthday, we want to do a tribute video. Joseph was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder last September 2020. And ever since na-diagnose si Joseph noon, it came to my mind na I want to raise awareness, but more than awareness, I want to raise consciousness about autism. And I have been thinking na why don't I start doing a vlog talking about autism and our experiences as family. Although we're not experts, we just want to share how we are dealing with this diagnosis as a family. Basically, on this video, we will be talking about Joseph's birth, what are the red flags that we have seen growing up before we got his official diagnosis. We would also talk about how we got an appointment, especially if you are in Mindanao, specifically somewhere in Davao region, although I am from the Caraga region. We would like to talk also about how to get an appointment with a developmental pediatrician and what happened during our first checkup where we got the official diagnosis. Okay, so first I am going to talk to you about Joseph's birth. He is again my third pregnancy. We were going to our relative's place and then nakasakay po kami ng bus. It was peak season because it's All Saints Day. Malapit na po sa All Saints Day yon. So, when we arrived in the bus terminal, I felt cramping. And then, binaliwala ko lang yon. Anyway, after how many minutes or hours, nawala din naman yung cramping and I was able to sleep through the night. But when I woke up mga around 3 a.m. on October 31, 2017, I saw a gush of blood when I peed, and then I woke up my mom, my husband was there also, and then we quickly went to the hospital and they referred us to the public hospital here in our province. So in the hospital, I was admitted and then some medicines were given to me and nawala naman yung bleeding. At saka meron din kasamang pain yon, but when I was given medicine, nawala na din yung pain. So we thought na, okay, baka okay lang yon. By the way, I was pregnant 7 months at that time. So we were really hoping na hindi pa sana yon ang labor talaga because of course, Joseph will be born prematurely if talagang magle-labor ako by that time. So we were hopeful because nawala yung pain and nawala yung bleeding. So, in the morning of November 1, I was thinking na baka uuwi na kami. But, suddenly, the pain came back very, very masakit talaga siya. It was the first time I experienced that pain because in my first and second pregnancy with David and Sarah, I was not able to experience so much labor pain. But with that, it was really painful. And then I was quickly brought to the delivery room and the doctor measured my cervix and she felt like parang lalabas na talaga yung baby, but not that malapit pa talaga, but yun nga, because the baby is still 7 months in my tummy, so nagsuggest siya na i-forward kami sa regional hospital, which is almost 2 hours from our provincial hospital. So, yun na, in the ambulance, so we were traveling to the regional hospital. Talagang grabe yung sakit. So, I was able to make it in the hospital, and then in the hospital, I was immediately taken care of by the doctors, and they said that I had to undergo emergency cesarean operation, and that was my third cesarean operation na. So, okay lang. In the labor room or in the operation room, the doctor, I think, told me that I should not expect much that there is a possibility that the baby will not live. During the operation, I was awake, no, and narinig ko pa siya na umiyak. And then they immediately brought them, I think, to X-ray. And then after that, he was in the NICU. So, nadala na ako sa ward, and I think for 2 to 3 days, I did not see my baby. Doon lang ako kasi naka-cesarean, medyo masakit pa talaga siya i-move. And on my 3rd day, I think, when I was discharged, that was when I had the chance to go to the NICU. And when I went to the NICU, hindi pa ako pwedeng lumapit sa baby. So, they arranged that I go back at 9 p.m. that day, although naka-discharge na ako sa hospital, to see my baby inside the NICU. So, that was the first time that I will be seeing him. So, I'm kind of emotional at that moment. But, when I was there at 9 p.m., dala-dala ko yung cellphone ko in secret lang sa NICU, just so that I can take a photo of him and show to my husband and my kids. And then, when I saw him, para talagang heart-wrenching moment, because I saw my baby, he is wearing tubes for his oxygen, and then hindi ko sure anong term doon, basta parang naka-oxygen siya. And he was laying down on his diaper. Parang yung diaper niya, yung ginawang pillow sa kanya. And he's very, very small, very, very tiny. He was born at 1.5 kilo. And it's really heartbreaking at that moment. But at that time, kahit napakasaglit ko lang doon, and I don't want to spend too long at that point, kasi pagpasok ko sa NICU, may baby na nire-revive doon sa kabila. Parang nakaka-stress kapag magstay pa doon. Kaya the time that I went inside the NICU, I just prayed. I prayed for Joseph that somehow God will be with him in this journey. So, from that moment, we learned that Joseph had some trouble with his oxygen when he was born. So, kaya naka-oxygen siya. And I think there were also some infection, but nothing really major. Hindi nga siya na-incubate. No need for incubation. And after 19 days, since I've given birth to Joseph, doon pa lang kami na-discharge. And he was very, very tiny. I could carry him with one arm. And so, after that, we all did our best to take care of Joseph. I always do kangaroo mother care even here at home, kasi nga nakaka-help daw yun sa pag-increase ng weight nila, and for, of course, bonding, mother and son bonding. So that was Joseph's birth. After giving birth to Joseph, so seeing him grow up so far, okay naman si Joseph, nakagain siya ng weight, he became really a healthy baby boy. So far, in our opinion, he was growing up really well. Complete vaccines and all of those things that he needs. But now we will talk about the red flags or the signs that we saw that lead us to thinking that we should get a doctor's appointment. Okay, so I know that it's not right to compare your children because every children is different. Joseph is very responsive when we play with him when he was still a baby. Para tumatawa naman siya, and he looks at us like he recognizes us. Parang normal lang talaga. Not until he was around I think 8 months, ganon. When he has not yet tried to say the mama and the papa, which I was thinking na by that month, nakaka-talk na talaga siya ng mama or papa, because that's what I observed with his kuya and ate. So, wala nga, and I was just thinking maybe na-delay lang, no problem, I will just let it go and let it be. So, ako personally nakita ko na some things na nakaya ng ate at kuya niya before on that specific age is hindi pa niya nagagawa. For example, saying bye-bye, yung ganon, yung mag-echo siya or mag-copy siya sa mga expression mo. Hindi niya yung ginagawa. And although in terms of motor skills, okay naman yung development niya. He was able to walk at the right time, no? He was able to sit yun. Okay yung part na yun, yung development na yun. But when it comes to the language and I think on the cognitive side, parang doon ko nakita yung delay. And until he grew up pa at around 2 years of age, there was a point in time na he was walking on tiptoes. Although very brief lang yun, hindi naman yun talaga nagtagal. He was walking on tiptoes, and even at 2 years old, he was still not talking, no? Another thing that he observed is he does not have too much eye contact. Hindi din siya tumitingin kapag tinatawag mo siya. And also, he is very hyperactive. Very energetic talaga. Sometimes nakakasaya sa kanyang yung energy niya, but sometimes din nakaka-stress because he is really hyperactive. And then those were the signs that led me to thinking to visit Google and looking at Google for speech delays, those symptoms, no, and there are a lot of reasons in Google, and nothing could really pinpoint for the actual answer. My sister, who was studying that time sa medicine, is giving me the, I think, Denver development chart. I'm not sure on the term, but he told me to compare my son's development on that chart and see what are the things na parang behind siya. And indeed, napakaraming factors na behind si Joseph. Okay, so on August 2019, while I was busy preparing for my thesis in my master's, and I was going to Davao almost every week, my husband and I decided to book an appointment with a development pediatrician. We went first to Brokenshire to Dr. Isaguirre, and then we found out that hindi pala tinatanggap ang walk-in. You have to ask for an appointment, and when we went there, we closed yung clinic nila, but there was a telephone number, and we called that, and we were able to get an appointment. That was August 2019. We were able to get an appointment for September 2020. That is more than 1 year from the date of getting an appointment. And we thought na napakatagal pa nun, so we sought to the second developmental pediatrician in Davao. I think it was in Davao Doctors Hospital, and same schedule they gave us. It's still September. Okay, so we waited, and while waiting, we have seen some improvements in Joseph in terms of motor skills, but he was still non-verbal at that time, less focused, no eye contact pa rin. So I think some of his red flag symptoms are still there, and strong pa rin yung symptoms there. And then our appointment came. Unfortunately, it was during COVID. So I was thinking na tutuloy pa ba kami na pupunta ng Davao, but the clinic itself, we just went with Dr. Isaguirre because she was also recommended by our pediatrician here in Trento. And then her clinic said that they will not accept walk-in consultations. Instead, they will be having teleconsultation, no, through Zoom. So I know it won't be the same experience as going face-to-face, but I just grabbed that opportunity because I just want to get an official diagnosis for Joseph. And then, when we did the Zoom, Dr. Isaguirre was very accommodating. She talked to me first about what I have observed, what are my concerns, what are the things that I have seen from Joseph that could be a problem. And before also that of our schedule, she asked me to send home videos of Joseph, so that she can observe Joseph through those videos. And then after she talked to me, we had some exercises. One was that she asked me to call Joseph. She wants to observe if Joseph will look at me while I'm calling him. But Joseph, expectedly, he did not look at me because he really does not look, hindi talaga siya tumitingin pag tinatawag mo siya most of the time. Very seldom lang siya tumitingin. Okay, so yun, she also asked us to do some activities like asking Joseph what shape is this, what color is this, matching the shapes on the puzzle. And then after that, after I think it took 30 minutes in total, and then after that the doctor talked to me again, kami lang dalawa, and based on her findings, based on her observation, she concluded that yun na nga, Joseph has autism spectrum disorder. So let me just share to you Joseph's evaluation by Dr. Isaguirre in his first checkup. So Joseph was 2 years and 10 months during the checkup, and then these are Dr. Isaguirre's observation. Joseph is a 2-year-old and 10 months old boy who presented with limitations in social interaction, limitations in social communication, as well as focused interests and routines in play. Gross motor skills are his strengths. He likewise showed good cognitive potentials. So based on the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual 5, the Tele-ASD PEDS, the symptoms and concerns currently noted are consistent with Joseph's official diagnosis was autism spectrum disorder without cognitive impairment with language impairment. So with that, Dr. Isaguirre had some recommendations. First is to plan out a daily routine or a thrice weekly routine for Joseph, and do structured plays or activities. And then talking to Joseph, she also recommended therapy. She suggested occupational therapy and some links for me to look at. Anyway, yung check-up pala namin, it costs 3,500 pesos. And then, we also had our schedule for follow-up check-up after 1 year. So, at least, automatic na yung appointment nyo after 1 year. So, that was our experience with our online consultation with, I think, one of the best developmental pediatrician in the Philippines, Dr. Isaguirre. She is located in Brokenshire, and you can visit her clinic to book an appointment. When we got that diagnosis, it was siguro nakakasad na feeling, of course, no, to have it officially paalam sa'yo na your son is having this challenge in his life forever. Okay? So, just to give awareness of what I have read about autism, autism is not sickness. It cannot be treated. A person with autism, he will live with autism forever. So, I think that was just the first thing that I have to understand about Joseph's diagnosis, because I should not, based on that thinking, I should not be looking for treatment for Joseph, but I should be looking for ways how to improve his way of living. That even with those difficulties brought by autism, that he could still enjoy life and be happy. So, yun yung parang tinitingnan namin as family, and that is our focus mainly, just to make him happy. Talking about autism, you have to understand that an autistic person is not the same with another autistic person. The point here is that, of course, you cannot compare a child with autism to a child without autism, but you cannot also compare a person with autism to another person with autism. Getting that diagnosis, of course, I searched my friend Google over the internet on how to be a parent for a child with autism, and I have read a lot of self-help tips. I also joined a community in Facebook called Autism Family Support Group, and I have learned a lot, in that Facebook group. I'm very thankful for that group. Shout out to all the mothers there. So I want to share something that made me aware in this journey of getting Joseph his diagnosis. Sometimes we see children and we think that itong batang ito parang walang disiplina, hindi nakikinig, or itong batang ito hindi nagstay still, itong batang ito parang ang bobo, hindi nakakagets. And sometimes we would blame the parents thinking that they're not taking care of their kids well, they are not giving them the proper attention, the right amount of attention, but we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, and maybe the parents are really doing their best, but maybe these kids have some difficulties like Joseph. So that made me realize that we should not judge, especially if we don't know the person or the kid and we don't know the family. And for the families who are seeing these red flag signs in their kids, and for parents who are struggling, I highly recommend that you book an appointment with your developmental pediatrician, because getting the official diagnosis is very helpful, and for you to use, for you to be guided what to do next. And the point here of autism is that early intervention is the key. So the earlier you can give your kids therapy, the earlier that you can change his routine, the earlier that you can start building an environment perfect for the kid, will really help him have a better life growing up. So this is just the beginning of the videos that we will be posting, sharing to you our journey with Joseph. If you want to be updated with our postings, you can like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification button. So thank you everyone for listening, and I hope that you will follow us in this journey, and you will share with us your stories also in the comment section, and you can also suggest or ask questions, and maybe we can answer that on our next video. Have a nice day everyone.